We've brought two of the best jump jockeys of all time together, Sir Anthony McCoy and Barry Geraghty, to relive some of their amazing memories throughout the years.
And the starters let them go.
Moscow Flyer, a horse who had a real longevity to his successful career.
I'd fallen off him the year before at the last ditch.
So he wasn't really easy, Barry, was he? He wasn't like in terms of he could make a mistake. Like
he had a sequence
Obviously.
of fall, unseat on every third run for 3 years until this season. He won all starts until getting beaten in Punchestown. But he was just willing to take a chance.
Was he just a bit brave and a bit flippant and a bit cool
flippant.
for his own?
Yeah, a bit flippant.
Yeah.
He was casual about things.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He lived on the edge and he didn't mind. Wasn't a very big horse, but had a lot of scope.
It looks a brisk gallop as they race in front of the stands and past the central enclosure, uphill towards the next fence, the fourth. Cadran out jumped by Central House, then Moscow Flyer.
Because he didn't have the size, he couldn't afford to take too many chances.
And was it because he was always going easily in a race that he'd done that, do you think? Or was it just that he switched off himself mentally a little bit?
Just mentally. He wasn't going easily. He wasn't a speedy horse, so he couldn't be going that easy. But he'd zone out and he'd be looking at something over the rail and thinking, what's that over there?
I think if they're brave, they perhaps don't concentrate quite as much, and then they do take those chances. But you're also then taking lengths out of other horses if he's brave.
Carefree, but this day I won't say he was completely concentrated, but he was good. He was accurate. He travelled. See him there jumping past Central House.
He's jumping himself to the front because he's good.
And he wasn't a fancy workhorse, so he was a slow horse in the gallop. But when there was a jump in front of me, he'd come alive. But everywhere through this race, I think Geraghty ducks into the water, ducks sign down there. That's put paid to his chances.
And in terms of riding him, he was a pretty straightforward horse to ride, was he? He was like, I know all good horses are reasonably straightforward, but you could probably have ridden him nearly anyway, would you?
Yeah, he was. He found his way through, but his jumping was the thing. If you could get him concentrating. This fence here, I had fallen off him. So this is his fourth year facing this ditch. And Eamon Lee warned me before I go, don't go along with the ditch. So stuck in the short one. I was tempted going for him.
There was nearly one there.
There was. Every year he faced it on a long stride, and I fell off him once, and the other two he got away. So I survived that one. Once I survived that one, I knew it's in the bag.
Looming up here, Moscow Flyer, the 2003 champion. Well, Chief on the outside, yet to be asked any sort of question by Timmy Murphy. Here's the third last. Moscow Flyer takes over there, and the crowd roar him on.
And he's cantering now. You couldn't be going any easier. But there wasn't much happening around me, so I was very comfortable, if you like, at this point.
And I suppose the one thing you thought with him, Barry, is that he was a very strong staying 2-miler, so you could always, if needed be a little aggressive on him, because he looked like he'd always stick his head out for you.
He'd only ever do as much as he had to. He's Dawson here. I'm only giving him a couple of smacks to keep him concentrating.
Yeah, the winning margin's nothing to do with it.
Absolutely nothing. You see him pricking his ears. He's full of running. Goes down. He pings the last like it's the first, and away with him. You're going through the motions. You're taking a peep, but there's no real danger. He's home and hosed. But he was a classy horse.
And Moscow Flyer